Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Erin with Lady Poe Designs. Tonight we've got some scrap wood trees, Christmas trees, and a tray set that I actually got off of TEMU, which was pretty surprising, but I think it turned out really cool. I actually want to thank all of you for being so patient for this video. I apologize, but I was sick over the weekend and I wanted to get up and do the voiceover, but one, I didn't have a voice, and two, my body was saying nope. So my apologies for the late video, but I think you're really gonna like these. These turned out really cool. So let's get into them. So first, I made a spindle box. I saw Julie with Julie Signs and Designs make these before, and I believe Sammie's made one before. Totally easy. I should have filmed it, but my area wasn't tall enough. As you can see, I had to move the camera up. So I nailed it together outside. But I did these trees with some scrap wood. I cut the first three out with my bandsaw and figured that was taking too long, so I just cut them straight after that. But we're going to be using some decoupage paper from Roycycled Paper and from the DIY Struggle from Brandi. Y'all, these papers are absolutely gorgeous. I know Sammie has used them. She used the lady on the right on our last video, but Brandi did such a good job with these papers. They're absolutely stunning. The colors are vibrant. They're beautiful. Look at that stag. I am itching to use that one. I wanted to use it on a tree, but I didn't want to cut the antlers. So we're going to be using the Christmas Masterboard by Roycycled Decoupage Papers. And then the one on the left is actually a napkin. I got one of her napkin bundles from TDS, and then 3 of her papers. On 4 of the trees, we're going to use some molds. These are just pre-casted molds that I had already done. I had some snowflakes, some holly, and some baubles. As you can see, I've got little cups sitting everywhere with just pre-casted molds. So we're going to glue these on, 4 of them, and then 4 of them we're going to decoupage. So I'm going to use the Type Bond wood glue, if I can speak tonight, with my little Sili cup. Y'all love this thing. I never have to clean it, it just peels out. And we're going to spread the glue on the back of the holly and glue that over all of the big tree. I'm doing molds on most of the big ones because the papers weren't big enough, and I didn't want to have to piece together that many pieces of paper. So the molds are going to go on mostly the big ones. I did one small one though. So I'm going to glue all of that down. And we're going to glue down the baubles as well. I'm using the bigger Sili, I think they're called silicone or silicone. I don't know what they're called, but they're really cool brushes. And the glue doesn't stick to them, and it just peels right off. It's really cool. I'll put them down in the description if y'all are interested. But that little red cup, you can fill that with glue, and it fully seals, so you can go back to it, and it will not dry out. It's super cool. So we're gonna do a layer of vintage linen on all the ones that we're going to decoupage, so the paper will pop and the napkin, because I don't want the wood grain to show through. I want it to be white underneath, especially under this deer because it's so translucent. With the napkins, they're so thin so you can see the wood underneath it. So you have to put that layer of white down or else you'll just see the wood. If you want that look, that's fine. But I wanted it to be white and for it to pop. So I'm just going to trace it out with some water with a little detail brush, get my liquid patina. Now with napkins, we're going to lay down our line to start it. I'm going to center it where I want, and I'm going to lay down my starter strip to kind of anchor it in a way. But the only thing that's different about actual decoupage paper and napkins, of course, is napkins are extremely thin and very temperamental. So I can't spray this with water like you do a decoupage paper because it's just going to fall apart in your hands, right? So we have to very carefully put the liquid patina down, press it down. I know Brandi uses a sponge when she does all of her decoupages with napkins. She's a pro at it. You can iron these with Mod Podge. You can, the same way that you do anything with decoupage paper, you can do with napkins. It's just very delicate. I still prefer to use my finger. I just have a very light touch and I'm able to do that. Some people can do that. Some people can't. Whatever you feel comfortable doing. So we're just going to continue to lay down our strip of liquid patina and work our way down in sections. That's the best way to do it, is to work in sections. That's how you're not going to get any wrinkles or tears. And with napkins, you cannot lift it back up like the decoupage paper. With the papers, you can kind of lift them back up, reposition them, that you have that little bitty window. Napkins, you can't do that. You have to commit. Once it's down, it's down. So I'm going back in here with some water on a detail brush. And this is after I've already ran my heat gun over it and dried it a little bit. So it is a little bit dry. Not all the way, but enough to where I can manipulate it a little bit. But I'm tearing out little pieces because the negative space right in front of the deer, I want to fill those in with snowflakes. So I'm getting as close to the edge as I can. Sorry if y'all can hear my dog snoring. She's on my lap. But I'm going to cut out the little snowflakes and fill in the negative space because I didn't want all that white showing. I wanted the snowflakes. They were all on the outside. So I'm just simply cutting them out with water, or not really cutting them out, but you know what I mean, tearing them out, whatever. And I'm just working my way around and filling in wherever I want a snowflake. So each little one, and it's very easy. They stick to your hands. They'll stick to anything. Be careful. But you cannot tell that you've layered this. It looks like it was just all one piece. But just very carefully lay it down on top and fill in your spaces. This is one of the DIY struggle paper. This is Holiday Spirit. It's gorgeous paper. I started tearing it out with the water and the detail brush, and I got my square cut out, and I forgot to turn my camera back on, so I'm really, really sorry. You don't see me put this one down, but it works the exact same as any of the other decoupage papers. She did a really great job on these papers. I'm really, really impressed. Mostly with the colors, actually. The colors are absolutely stunning. This is one of Roycycled's papers. This is the Christmas Masterboard. And I love that image right there. I had to get some of the tree and the deer in it. But I'm just going to lay down my liquid patina just like usual, spritz it with water, and rub it down with my finger. These are two boards nailed together. So I'm going to be cognizant of that and actually rub it down into that crease so it won't tear in the future when it's being handled or anything. So I'm going to actually rub it down into that crease so it'll lay flat. But I'm going to go all the way up, spray it, lay it down. She is snoring on my lap, y'all. I'm so sorry. So if you hear something snoring, it's my lab healer mix on my lap. These are a couple of reindeer that are in the Ornaments and Things paper from TDS. So cute. The Ornaments and Things are all little separate little circles and rectangles, all to fit on ornaments. Absolutely adorable. But I thought they would be perfect on one of these trees. So I took out 2 of them and laid them down separately. They're actually really close together and going the opposite way from the way I laid them down, but it worked out. This paper actually isn't a Christmas one. It's the Avian News. It has all birds. And a few of the images, oh my gosh, y'all, the images are so pretty. She uses so much color in her papers. They're stunning. And I know I've already said that, but I just cannot say enough good things about them. That it's such pretty paper. See how I can lift that one up and lay it back down? You can't do that with the napkins. But we're going to take the zip sander and in a downward motion, we're going to get all of that extra paper off of all 4 of them. Now I did leave the rest of this one in just to show you that after I sanded this one off, see there's a top of that tree that's blank. So I took the scrap, the part of the rose that I sanded off, and I'm going to lay that at the top of the tree just to fill it in. And sorry, it's a little bit out of frame, but I'm just going to cover that top little tippy tip of the tree. Looks seamless. Can't even tell. Now the trees with the molds on them, we're going to use Bohemian Blue for the snowflakes. I love this color. It's like a midnight blue. It's such a beautiful blue. It's almost black. But it turned out really pretty. And remember, I get all my DIY products from Sammie at Unicorn Dust Designs. I'll leave her information below. I'll also leave Brandi's website below too if y'all are interested in any of the papers. Using Marquee for the bells. And I forgot to turn my camera back on, but I used Avery for the big tree with the baubles. And we're going to use Monet's Garden for the one with all the holly. Now I'm going to just hit the accents with vintage linen just on the tippy tip of my brush. I'm just hitting those high points, like you would do with wax or any of the patinas. But I'm just doing it with a white paint, very, very little. Just dry brushing it on because I just want those accents to come out. I want those to pop. I'm going to cover all 4 of them with Big Top. So I'm going to seal these base coats in. On the holly, I'm going to go back and paint the berries in the marquee. And then we're going to take Golden Ticket and paint the bells. Sorry, it's out of frame. I was really into this project, y'all. And then we're just going to very lightly brush over the holly and the berries, just hitting the tops of those as well, just giving them a little of the Golden Ticket. Turns out really pretty. And then I actually trace the vein of the holly down each one. I go down the middle of each one. And we're also going to kind of skim that. See, I'm tapping most of it off in my little cup. So it's not like a full-on coat. It's just a little dusting on the baubles. I'm going to go over the white on the snowflakes as well, just to give it some sparkle. And we're going to seal all that in with Big Top as well. And then I'm going to go on the side of the wood because I didn't want to stain the wood. I thought that would take away from the actual tree itself. So I went around the side of just these 4 with the Golden Ticket, just to bring out that gold and that pop. And I think they turned out really pretty. What do y'all think? I love the spindle box. That spindle is so beautiful. I wish I could have shown y'all how I put that together. One day I'll have my husband actually film me nailing one together so I can actually show you. I just don't have the room right now or the camera set up to do it. But I think they turned out really pretty. I love all the accents of gold with the black and the white. Again, Brandi did a wonderful job on the papers. They're just stunning. And even the napkin, look at that just red and white napkin. It's so beautiful. Which one is y'all's favorite? Now, this tray set, I actually got off of TEMU, guys. TEMU for 15 bucks. 15 bucks, and look, it has 4 little, I guess, coasters and a little tray, a long tray, and it has the big one. And it all fits inside of each other. I was like, how cool is that? Didn't know what I was getting when I ordered it, but when it came in, I was actually pretty impressed. But we're going to use the Paint Inlay Noel. This was from last Christmas. If y'all have never used paint inlays, do not be afraid of them. They're so fun and they're so cool. But we're going to use all of the Christmas tree elements. We're sticking with the Christmas tree vibe, okay? So this one is supposed to be a sign. Nope. I'm cutting it up. I don't know why I like cutting things up. But we're going to give all of these trays a coat of the vintage linen. These trays, they were not smooth. It was pretty rough wood. So when you're putting the layer of paint on there with the chippy brush, I was just going to dry brush it. Yeah, no. You could still see the wood. So I was like, okay, well, we're going to do, as Sammie would call it, a messy coat. So that's what I ended up doing on all of the trays and the little coasters. And that's how it turned out. I think it turned out really cool. You can see the wood through it and everything. But we're going to give each piece a full coat of liquid patina because that's what we're going to be setting our paint inlays in. So I'm going to spray the back of the paper. This is not the actual where the paint is, but it's the back of the paper. That's to let the paper expand. That way when I lay it down on the boards, you're not going to get as many wrinkles. And I'm using my little fluffy brush. I love that brush. I think Sammie still has those in stock. I know she uses it for decoupage all the time, and I love it. I've never tried it, and I don't think I'll ever go back for larger pieces. It works phenomenal. But I'm going to lay down the liquid patina. I've already put down one coat and let it completely dry. This time I'm going to lay down not a thick coat, not a thin coat, but a healthy coat. And I'm going to pick up my pieces. Sorry, these first few are out of frame, but I'll come into frame. Now I'm going to start laying these down. And remember, I cut these apart. So it says Kraus. Kraus? Is that how you say it? Kraus? Kraus family farm. So I'm going to lay these down, and these are in pieces. So I can't use the brayer on all of them because I don't want to get liquid patina all over the brayer. So the little pieces, I actually dab in with my finger. I don't use the brayer on it. But I'm going to put the little scroll pieces underneath that. I'm making my own sign. Instead of it going horizontally, it's going to go vertically. And see, you have a little bit of play when you lay it down. It doesn't take hold immediately. But you also have to remember that working with liquid patina or Big Top or any of the sealers or bonders, it's going to be a lot different than laying it into paint. The best thing I could do is to tell y'all to watch the Paint Inlay 101 on the IOD YouTube page. That is the best video to watch if you've never used paint inlays and don't really know much about them. Watch that video. They walk you through every single step, and they walk you through laying it in paint. They walk you through laying it into a bonder like this. the bonder is actually going to come out and grab that paper. That's what it does. It's a bonder. So you have a 5 to 10 minute window to pull this back up. It's going to dry barely, not all the way, but it's going to dry. And then you're going to spray it again and pull it back up. If you leave this overnight, you're going to be tearing the paper out of your inlay and off of your piece. It's going to come off in pieces. If you are able to get it up, it's probably going to take most of your paint with it or whatever you laid it down with. I've glued one overnight and I couldn't get it off. I had to rip it apart. So with this one, we're going to just use the 3 trees. Remember, this was on the sign that said Kraus Family Farm, and it had the 3 trees. So I cut out the 3 trees and I'm spraying the back of them, not the side with the paint on them, but the back of them to release those fibers on the paper so it'll stretch a little bit. Lay down a layer of the liquid patina and then lay these down in it and just spread it out with my fingers. This, again, is a little bit too small for the brayer. So I'm just going to use my fingers and just press it down in there, wet it a little bit, make sure it's getting good contact, and then set it aside and let it dry. So I'm going to lay down this 3rd piece. And the way that this wood was on these trays, like I said, it was not smooth at all. So it has a very distressed look when you pull these up, which I'm not mad at. I really like the way they turned out. Some of the letters actually didn't even come out, but I'm not mad at it. Like, I think it turned out really cool. So this was the fresh cut that was on the bottom of one of the pages, and then the Christmas trees was on that sign. So I cut it apart, put Christmas trees across the top, and I'm again just rubbing it in with my finger, making sure everywhere where it has paint is making contact into that liquid patina, because that's what's going to do your transfer, or the transfer of the paint to the liquid patina. But I'm being very careful not to rub in all of the paper because I don't want all of those lines to show. So I'm only pressing where the actual paint is. I'm trying very hard not to push down where the paper is cut because I don't want those lines. So I'm only pushing down where it is, where the paint is. So I'm going to spray the back of the names of the Christmas trees that was lined across the bottom of that one sign. So I cut out each individual name of the Christmas tree and I'm going to put those on the coasters. So each coaster is going to have a name of the Christmas tree. And I think one of them says Beston County open Saturday and Sunday or something like that. But I had to put something in it and all of the rest of the stuff was too big. So I just put that in there. It turned out cute though. But I'm not going to make you sit through all 4 of those. But now I've sprayed the back of them so they'll start to release. And I've let it sit for about 60 seconds. And I'm starting to peel it off. See, it's not a full clean transfer. And at first I was like, oh, it didn't work. But then some pieces transferred really well. So I'm like, okay, well, it's going to be rustic, which I'm totally okay with because that's my style. So that one, see, you can see that one laid down really good. The family, that's actually looks more like the way it's actually printed on the paper because it's very distressed on the actual paper as well. So it's made to be like a distressed sign. But you can see parts of the the word farm didn't transfer very well. But again, I was not mad at it. I liked it. I liked the way it did. I just rubbed it in a little bit. Don't know if that helped any, but I like the way it turned out. And then we're going to take the tree off the same way. See how it has the lines? That's the actual wood. That's not because I didn't lay down the inlay. That's how the wood is. It was a very rough piece of wood, but I think it looks really cool. Now here's the 3 trees. I sprayed the back of them. I'm going to let those sit for a minute. Sprayed the back of the Christmas trees, fresh cuts, pull these up. These transferred really good. And remember, you can use these transfers 2, 3, sometimes even 4 times. They do say that when you use them in a bonder or a top coat, that you do have fewer uses. I don't know if that is true or not. I haven't reused this one yet, but we will see in the future. I can let y'all know. But we're going to take these up, and then I'm going to go over all of the ones that I peeled up with a layer of liquid patina. Since we set this in liquid patina, you're going to have a very low chance of it smearing when you're spreading that liquid patina on. Sometimes you won't want to brush this because it's live paint and it will just smear all the way down. These were actually set into a bonder, so they're kind of already sealed in a way. So you have very little chance for it to smear, at least in my experience. But I think they turned out really good. This is the whole tray set. A TEMU tray set for $15 that now I am very proud to be able to serve my family this Christmas with this tray set. I think it's gorgeous. So what do y'all think of paint inlays? Are y'all still afraid of them? Are y'all going to try them out? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you've used this paint inlay and what you've used it on. Again, I want to thank y'all all so much for your patience on this video. I truly, truly appreciate it. Every single one of you. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, you're beautiful and you can do hard things. Bye, guys.